Hi, welcome to the Spiritual Connection Show. I'm your host, Katie Augustyn. So I'm a transformation coach, I'm an energy healer, I'm a shamanic practitioner. I'm also the spiritual head of the Transformation Center CT, which is located in Westport, Connecticut. And we do a variety of workshops, trainings. At the center, we have satsang once a month, usually on a Wednesday towards the end of the month. And that is Sanskrit for in the company of the truth. And it's just about an hour to be together, do some meditation, some talking. Usually we do some chanting. It's just a very rejuvenating time. We'd love to see you there. We also do some shamanic clinics every month, the second Tuesday of the month in the evening. And we do shamanic drumming and journeying once a month. So all of these are open to anybody who's interested. Just visit the website, transformationcenterct.com. So thank you for being here tonight. The Spiritual Connection Show is all about connection. It's about connecting more fully with our own spiritual selves, as well as connecting with each other. And as you know, I have different guests each week, and it's really an opportunity to learn from them about their spiritual journey, what they're up to, and what services they can offer to you. Because it's important for us to find what really feeds our soul, and everyone is different. So, come back often and watch the show. It's also on my YouTube channel, which is just my name, Katie Augustyn, and just check out what's available to help you on your journey. So thanks again for joining us. So my guest tonight is Edward Cleveland. Hi, Ed.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's so great because I'm really excited to have Ed because I met him about a couple of months ago, I think it was, through our mutual friend Christina Dufour, which we both love dearly, yes. And so she told me about you, and you came over to my house and we just talked, and I just got this real sense of like, oh my gosh, who you are and what you do is just so amazing, and I just wanted to share it with the world. So thank you for making the journey down from Hartford. I'm going to just read a little bit about you for our audience who hasn't met you, because Ed is very humble and it's really hard to pull it out of him, but he has so much experience. So he's the founder and owner of the Ed Cleveland Reiki and Sound Therapy Training Center, which is located in Hartford. He is an advanced gong practitioner, a neuroacoustic sound practitioner, a master Reiki teacher, and holographic sound teacher. He is also a medicinal aromatherapist, as well as a national award-winning martial arts teacher. See what I mean? This is pretty amazing. So he's bringing forth 3 decades of personal education and experience in both his private practice and his teachings, because you do both.
Yes.
Yeah. So before we get started, and I always ask my guests the first question, tell me a little bit about your spiritual journey, how you started, anything you want to share. But before that, why don't you just share some of your beautiful sound, just to set the tone for the evening. Very nice. Thank you. I hope our audience could hear a little bit of that. Yeah, it's even better in person, trust me. So thank you. And why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your spiritual journey?
Well, it started as we all have ups and downs in lives and in our life. And during mine, I had gotten sole custody of my kids when they were 3 and 5. And there was a lot of things involved. And I went to a bookstore and I basically surrendered. I asked for help. I didn't know where to go. And I was doing a lot of self-help books, so I was reading on meditating and how to connect with spirit and stuff. and there was a book that was glowing, and it was a book on Reiki. So I held the book and I asked the question, and then I opened it up and it talked about an energy ball, and I was making energy balls in martial arts. So it immediately caught my attention. I bought the book, I read the book, and a week later I signed up for Reiki classes, and it was all in.
That's awesome. So you didn't waste any time. You just went full steam. Isn't that great how when that happens, when something really resonates with us, that it's there and that opportunity, and you can just take advantage of it? That's awesome.
And it kept rolling because after reading the book and I called, they were having class just happened to be next week. So I called to book an appointment, and they said that there's 3 different classes, and I said, well, the book says I have to wait time in between, and I didn't really have time because I was laid off, and and all these things were happening. And the woman at the counter said, well, the teacher just happens to be walking by. Would you like to talk to her? So I said, absolutely. And I told her the story, and she said, if life set you up for this, then you really should be here because it's ready for you. So again, I dove right in and took the whole week off and took the classes, and just had an amazing journey, which allowed all these other things to unfold, because now I fully trusted the instincts and asking for help, that when you ask, there will always be an answer if you quiet your mind enough to do so. So that started me off with meditations and shamanism and many other things.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So that's something that you would highly recommend to other people.
Absolutely.
To just be still and listen, or how would you describe it a little bit more?
Actually, I have people nowadays are seeking me out because they're having troubles, and in their own questions, whether they're having a dream that all of a sudden I came into the dream. That's happened about 20 times, where they were even maybe learning from someone else, like, I had a dream I was supposed to go see you, or they asked a question and they saw me pop up on a media site or something, or open a magazine, and there I was, and so they called me up and we started working, and again, the gifts just started flowing, and it's that following that synchronicity, because it's like, I like to say it's like putting a troubled thought on a leaf and let it float down the stream. You ask your question and you just quietly wait for the answer, and then once you're on that path, things will flow effortlessly, and that's when you're doing the right thing.
Right, especially if you put your intention in it, and you're open to whatever comes. There's all of that. That's great. That's a perfect example. I mean, that your life has really been changed because of this, right?
And that metaphor of the leaf has also helped out people, because I had a person say that they went through years of different things, and that one notion of putting a leaf, like, it was amazing. It had a traumatic effect just in that one moment. So it's very humbling to notice that things will just pop in and flow through. So
yeah, it's wonderful that you're able to share what you've learned with the rest of the world too. Yeah, so you stuck with the Reiki for a while, and you're still practicing and teaching it?
Practicing and teaching it. You can never learn enough, and there's always more to learn. I'm working now with different breathing techniques for the Reiki, which helps not only quiet the mind, but they state that 75% of ailments come from the brain, from overthinking. So on doing the meditations on quieting the mind and doing this breathing through these 3 different channels, it helps to clear the path, oxygenate your brain, and it's said to be done first thing in the morning, so it kind of helps to clear yourself before these different poisons come in that we all have, like anger, jealousy, pride, delusion, things like that, to do the exercise to have the winds clear out your 5 organs and help your brain oxygenate it, so now you can have a good day because now you're focused.
Right, so you get off to a good start every day. Yeah, I think that's great, because in the morning our mind is not taken over yet. We're still in that state, between dreaming and waking. I forget which state that is, but anyway, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I find that in the morning it's really helpful to just be before anything else comes in.
Before you pick up that phone.
Yeah, yes, and I read somewhere exactly that as soon as you actually look at your phone, that disrupts everything. It disrupts all of this helpful stuff that's been happening in our brains while we're sleeping, because it is cleansing, it's rejuvenating, all of those things. And then as soon as you look at that screen, it's gone.
You feel like there's something you have to do. Yeah. Breathing exercises, it's only takes a couple minutes, but I've been doing it a few more repetitions, so it takes about 8 minutes.
Okay.
So I know I'm going to take that 8 minutes first thing in the morning, and then I'll do what I need to do. So it's
nice. So is this an easy process for
Yes.
people to learn?
Yeah.
It's not something that you could give us a short demonstration, or not really, because it's 8 minutes.
It's called a 9 purification breath.
Okay.
It works with 3 different channels. It's similar to alternating nostril breathing, which then amplifies the opposite hemisphere of the brain.
Connects your brain better.
So you actually you inhale on the side, but you inhale visualizing it going around your ear and then down the channel, and then switching underneath the navel to the other side, and then you switch and you exhale for 3 breaths, anything that you may be having held with anger. And then you switch to the other side and you do that 3 times, same process, but every time you exhale, you're exhaling any bile or sickness or disease that may be in your body.
Okay.
And then the third one is inhaling both nostrils and having it go down the central tube and coming up and visualizing your crown is like a funnel. And even though you're exhaling out your nose, you're also thinking you're exhaling out your crown.
Okay.
So it helps open up that channel, and that would be for attachments and delusion.
Oh, wow.
So it's a very wonderful experience, and it's also the opposite of how Reiki works, because Reiki comes in through the funnel, it comes down and it comes up the channels and it goes out the hands. So when I learned that all these intricate parts actually work together as a lifestyle practice of Reiki, so that's something I encourage people to do every day.
Yeah, to do on their own.
Yeah.
That's excellent. So if people wanted to is there anything on your website about this, or just Google?
It's in all my, each one of my classes, I introduce it for each level, and each level we practice it a little bit more. I'll add in a couple of other things. There's things about making mudras, mantras,